Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have DARIUS jungle, one of the hidden OPs that are getting a bit more traction and popularity. I've actually been talking about this in my Discord and I have coached a jungle Darius already a few times. It's a really interesting pick, has a lot of potency, but it will require you to play a certain way. Now don't worry about that first blood. It's a cheeky first blood, cheese happens, the gold lead is going to be like... So we're going to have a nice back and forth game, not straight up stomping, so we can really get a good idea of how this pick is going to work now. Remember, these late invades, if you don't, they don't pan out. Nidalee could look to ward, deep ward, and invade and collapsing you, but with the runes on your screen now, lethal tempo, and of course a sorcery page for the move and speed, Dead Man's Force of Nature, yada yada, Ghost, of course, that's great. They're not actually going to work that well because Darius does a 3-minute 13 for clear when done correctly, but you can have a conditioning page and of course an inspiration page as well. Don't forget, we'll discuss all of these nuances and how to jungle lane, all that synergy, how to invade and deal with this in our bootcamp, myself, Coach Kybit, and Gosu Academy from Monday. So link will be below. I'll leave the link to the pre-roll at the end of the video if you would like more details, all the deets. But for now, back to the Darius. I do have a Darius coaching, as I mentioned on my Patreon, and that will have a 3-minute 13 clear to show you exactly how it's done. That is based on a red side clear, of course, dragging the camps using the bleed on the wolves down to the Grump. But for now, we're starting on blue. We're going to be sequencing up. We are against Nidalee. The late invade again. Early invade worked out nicely for us. Let's just keep our eyes on the clear. Normally, I would click around a bit more, F keys, paying attention to the lanes. But I think watching the clears on off-meta junglers is very important. Now, the E is an interesting one. The person I coached prefers not to max it until much later because using the QW together is more than enough. And obviously the fact of the matter is that a 24-second cooldown rank 1 on that E going down to about 12 seconds, you're not going to have it up more, in a fight anyway in terms of 2 or 3 rotations. It's really a go-in tool or a disengage tool or a pick tool. So he prefers to hold it, but this player will go E second to get those cooldowns for those mid-game, late early game Giga spikings, okay? So even now, 253, we finished our 5 camp at this stage, and you could Volibear invade this. If you feel you're strong with lethal tempo, which you should do against enemy junglers, that you can walk into their jungle and absolutely beat them 1v1, do it. But here we have the Nidalee showing up, actually, so I'm going to click here anyway. I know I said I wouldn't, but I just want to make sure we know what's going on, because the Nidalee flashes out here. Aatrox is rotating. We could have left this behind, but I think getting the level 4 here is huge. This is not as clinical as it should have been. And of course, the Akshan overcommits and dies. I do think we could have left this, potentially helped him. Perhaps that is something we should have done for sure, because obviously we have Silas moving as well. And we know now the Nidalee did 12, red side into this, which again, not optimal by either jungler. And that's the thing. When you are playing Darius like this, please practice the practice tool clears. Do your red buff start, do your full clear, get the 313 every single time, because it allows you to get a crab as it spawns, to look for double scuttle, to rotate to this fight. So if you're 5 seconds delayed for whatever reason, you're gonna have a bit of an issue. So obviously, it's difficult to find good games with perfect clears every single time, but as I said, there are resources for that linked below as well. Now, 6 camp, into a double scuttle, into an invade here. Is this a good invade, ladies and gentlemen? Think critically for a second. Is this a good ward, for example? Right? I do like the fact that we're doing this play and transitioning this to bottom lane gang. 100% don't be an AFK farmer. You can be, but don't be. However, we know the Nidalee did a red side 3 camp 1 quadrant into the top side, which means we know that Krug camp will spawn first and then the Raptor camp. So I do like, prefer when we want to make this play, and again, this is an excellent play, yes, I prefer us warding these Krugs instead of this. Now obviously Nidalee could do high traffic zone into the crab area, but I think as soon as you know you're going to show bot lane, a high elo jungler should be able to track, okay, dude has 32, I know he did both crabs. And here you go, you see? So this ward would be way more valuable than this one, okay? So do keep track of those things. It just shows us that the Darius wasn't quite thinking about his tracking, and his second tier rotation does happen. Believe it or not, does happen quite a lot. Not every challenger jungler is thinking about these second, third rotations. Now, we know straight up that we're going to want to continue this process. However, a Darius can really easily solo a dragon early on in the game, even without optimization, technically. The damage buffs that they did over a year ago are really nice and strong. So you could look to swap, right, into a down trend, knowing that Nidalee's going to go up. Here we go. She's done Raptors as well. She actually hasn't done Raptors here. And now she's going to move in to the mid lane collapse. We could carry on sequencing, but I think rotating here is very, very good. Had we gone for the top side quadrant sequencing down, we'd be here sooner, but we have Ghost We of course have Iron Spike Equip, we have boots, we can chase, we can chase, we can chase. Aggressive jungler, nice hook there. We can twirly whirly and spin to win, plus an auto attack, and down he goes. Now, remember, most people are not going to respect your heal at all, okay? They're not going to respect your twirly whirly heal. You're going to spin around. We all know, okay, we need to avoid the heal. Most players in lower elos are not going to know that. So I'm kind of curious here a little bit. And I mentioned that she didn't do Raptor Camp, and I just wanted to show why, because I was actually curious. She took such a long, elongated path, afraid of the Darius. This again is also bad jungling from the Nidlee's perspective. The dude hasn't based. You have Sword Boots. You think he's going to not base after the bottom lane gank, loop up and fight you over your Raptors with no mid lane prio? No, if anything, he's going to gank mid lane, but why would he do that? He's going to base here, obviously, so not so good by the Nidalee at all. So now that we caught up with that, we can go back to the Darius here. Remember, your Q, the Decimate, that heal, right? It's a 5-second CDR eventually once you've maxed it up and have some haste in your pocket anyway, but of course, 5 seconds flat as it is. So it's substantial. It's substantial, really. But this is good. I like this overall. The Nidalee way too safe. Now we see this as well. Make sure you track in this as Darius. The whole point of what I was saying is instead of sequencing upside, matching the Nidalee, should none of that randomness have happened, you could have just forgotten the Krugs. You sequence down for a 3 camper, right? Raptors, Wolves, Grump, maybe look bot lane, or go straight to the Dragon if it's free. And those are definitely things you can look for. Now here, instead of going to the top side, we know that there's an RNG scuttle, so I kind of think, could we have potentially just done this? If you feel like you're strong 1v1, right, and you see this Nidalee go down, then kind of looping back from the mid lane play into Raptor's top scuttle into her Grump and potentially fisting her 1v1, that's great. But as we're seeing here, the early dragons are huge. And taking this at 6-7, as I'd like to talk about, is huge for the ping pong of objectives. So it depends on what you want to do. Now, if you're like a Charisma Kane, right, as you had on stream last night, he skipped this entirely just to make sure he killed everyone across map. Just went top to bottom, killed everybody. Now it was really, really free, you know? So don't compromise always for the objective if you know you have total control of the game. But in terms of these moments, I think, yes, if we do that, that's great. But now the Nidalee has power over here, you know, and that's not something you want to provide. So we use that to take our blue side quadrant. We take the objective knowing the Nidalee is going to have to go up at this stage. So it's a reverse of what I'm saying, but with a nice outcome of a dragon. We go ahead, we fall back to the blue, we snack that, we take some plants, thank you, well, some fruits, and we have here the Akshan. Again, the Nidalee is not impressing me at all. I'm slightly and very concerned by by her behavior. The Yone just over pushing against the Silas, who can the Yone, but of course misses it. We go in, we go mega dunkings, brilliant use of transition, you know, nice and smooth, nice flow, and Akshan, man. And this is why we play top laners. I do, you know, yeah, I don't have anything to say about that other than not focus on your own game. Focus on your own game. The Nidalee is playing badly. The Nidalee is not tracking. She's pathing way too weirdly for me. I don't like how she's looking at the game. Now Akama and Silas completely overcommitted. We're ditching that situation, moving back into the red sun jungle. We're looking for top scuttle, top quadrant, and top herald control. And our team is just not respecting that. And they're getting free kills. But the Darius this time, very good. Good rotation from those Raptors. We don't quite get the spin there. We do have our hook available, but we have 4 people mid lane. Yone is going to go for the ult here. So a little bit of a... little bit of an oopsie from myself hitting the microphone and the Darius rotating. I do like that he rotated though, but you have to make this whole sort of, am I looking at the rest of the map? And obviously when I'm playing the replay here, I want to show you where the source of action is. In-game, I don't need to do that. I can look and see who's rotating. I can stare at the minimap. So do bear that in mind. There's a difference between spectating and analyzing. And then when you go into game, you've got to be aware that, you know, you don't have to keep your eyes on this action as much as you need to watch this to see how it's developing, but you also need to watch it and track the roamers, you know what I mean? You don't have to look at a webcam the whole time, which is why streaming and playing is not something I'm so good at. Always respect to those who can. Now, if this looks truly screwed, you know, everyone rotating too dead, you can just loop this, shove this, potentially go down to this again, because that was not taken by anybody. And then, of course, we can hold off for the Herald play. I don't like that we skipped that the scuttle on the top side. It just, again, shows there's a lack of tracking in this game. The Darius didn't ward appropriately early for that second Krog spawn. The Nidalee, I don't know why she's just, you know, overly respecting the Darius lethal tempo when he had like 2,000 gold and had to go back to base. These things are weird for me. And now, of course, we're pathing to the bottom side with no Dragon up, with Herald on the top side. And it's okay to delay that Herald a little bit if you have total control. I know why we're going to get this dive here, but I'm not a fan of giving away free Heralds. I'm really not. I would have much preferred to go down, look for the bot lane gank, and then sequence up from that Herald, or to just go straight forward, maybe look for the fight if we're feeling really, really fed. You see the center there keeping her space. We activate the ghost. We're going to try and get our E. We're not going to use it. Nidalee's here anyway. So this is just a straight up overcommit. This is just bad no matter what jungler you're playing. And I think it's good to know that Darius isn't going to bail you out of these situations because, again, he is kiteable when you understand what that Q does and, of course, playing around it. So the center does a good job. Yone uses their pride of going down. Does anyone actually like Yone other than Yone players? Like, I like having a good one on my team, but when it's against me. So, I'm not a fan of this kind of short quadrant gank bot lane. I mean, this is where we want to be, right? This is where we want to be. So, you can either do this and cut in after maybe looking for a gank here if he's still pushing in. Of course, top lane is pushing too. And maybe just go ahead and snack that. I don't like that we lost an RNG crab either. Stuff I talk a lot about in coaching as well, so we don't need to go over it too much. We've died, we've reset, bad things happen. We're going to the top side here. Size repositions over the wall. Aatrox, we say hello. We have Stride Breaker active for us, so now kiting and sticking is a lot better. We get the dunk, thank you very much. We'll get the reset. Come here, child. Well, he got out. That's unfortunate. Again, the Nidalee shows mid lane chucking a spear. She misses. Level 8. Level 8, we're at, what, 63 to 81. So, yes, you can farm extremely well on Darius, even when you're not farming optimally. And that's the key. You know, if you optimize your power thing and you're counter jungling, you really can take over games. And that lethal tempo is powerful. You are going back from whence you came. I'm going to spin as you arrive to kill you. We're getting chain CC'd or slowed and, you know, whatever by the center who rotates. Nice Fiesta. Do you like Fiestas? I don't know. I'm not so much of a fan of these moments because I feel like a lot of people, even in Hilo, there's a control with there, do this too often. And they kind of just let their champs liberate them in terms of their mistakes. And they get away with them because the mechanical god's on them. And I don't necessarily always like that can take hold in games, but that being said, you know, you're challenger. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have challenger power thing or challenger macro and things like that. For most of us who can't operate certain champions, we have to use our macro as well. So this going untouched, unused, unsecured, and I'm getting hives, I think. I think I'd rather the mosquito come back and bite me 18 times and give up a herald like this when we had such an early dragon. We chose to not counter jungle the Nidalee going down, to sequence back up knowing she was going topside so we could get that dragon, so we could look for objective ping pong, but he just went down to the wrong side again. Not things I'm a fan of, but here we are. Second dragon. Let's go ahead and schnack that baby. We do have the spears from Nidalee coming through. Oof, you know, be very glad that she's a high skill camp champion. Most of you, because you'll never face a good Nidalee. A good Nidalee and a Nidalee-based meta. I don't know if there's many more things that are more annoying. Honestly, I mean, Talon, Gore Drinker, Umbral Glaive, and Chemtank Hakrim Udia meta is right up there because they were so unskilled. Oof, you could drool and succeed. At least the Nidalee meta took skill, you know what I mean? Like, at least her playing that way, while it was annoying and horrific to face, it's like, I know the enemy player at least has to be conscious. And I think those are good things. I don't like this ignore, though. I feel like we're trying to fight too much. Like, we're Darius, we have lethal tempo, yeah, you know? You don't need to sort of be that kind of beefy, aggressive jungler all the time. You can still go for those objectives. We have that Q there. We see the center roaming again, and we have two people bot lane, so we want to be very cautious here with no scanner. We are level 9, though. Nidalee is now 10, you know, she's 713. This is very similar to the low elo guide I put out on my main channel right now, actually, where one jungler was much further ahead in CS, was still getting the objectives, but the enemy jungler was just getting a lot of kills. We see her here, Any bets? Any bets on whether they die? Or live? Where's Forest Within with the bets? I don't think he would take this. Wait, maybe we... Okay, maybe we could have... never mind. Well, you know, it do be what it do be sometimes. Anyway, so, you know, like the Kayn was getting a huge amount of kills, and the other jungle was just up in CS, up in objectives, same level, maybe down a level at one point, and then just that CS lead and that pressure from the objective catapulted, because you still ended up being the dominant jungler. You still had that kill threat. Again, now we're chasing, we're ghosting, we're activating. I know Darius means in the jungle, and this seems to be a common theme, they just go ham. Really, they do. Silas gets the mid lane turret, which is great, first turret for us. Akshan is, I honestly don't know what that Akshan is doing. We catch a wave here, we shove it in a little bit. Ooh, almost. RNG Scuttle on the bottom side there. I would like to get that, but again, we're going for the tower push. Huge, though, when you're Darius and playing things like this. Please hit towers you know, just because you're taking a top laner to the jungle doesn't mean you can cease to do things that your champion's good at. You know, if you're a good split pushing top laner, you take it to the jungle. Like season 4, we used to actually take Trinomir because we had different items that allowed anyone to jungle. It was a great time. And you would still default to split pushing at some point. You know, we didn't need Hellbreaker. We didn't need such nonsense. We just used good macro, running it down back then, as most people did with split pushing. And no one reacted. What a different time. Such a simple time. I guarantee you someone who was plat in season 4 could very easily be silver stuck now if they played the exact same way. No doubt. No doubt whatsoever. Right. A little bit of split, a little bit of scuttle, always what we need to get back into the game. Bleed damage, trust it, trust it, trust it. Gonna go ahead and do this grump as well. This will give us 11. And now we're going a bit more tanky route, I think, in this particular game. That is a good idea. You can, of course, go your more fightery style with the Death Star. It's a healing, you know, you get to 2k healing plus your Q. It's a lot. Let's have a look here. We're pushing the turret. We lose that Herald. Again, no concern for the Heralds, just going for straight up soul control, which is nice. But then you do have an early Elder, so you have to pay attention to those things, you know? Obviously, that's a summoning of the Herald, not a securing of the Herald. And there she goes. And now they're just shoving this. Now the game's falling apart a little bit for us, you know? Not a lot, but we are definitely trailing. We have Ghost, sorry, we don't have Ghost. But they did split. The Yone split. Everfrost hits. Very, very nice. Spear goes in. Ults to safety. Doesn't make anything happen. Darius says, fine, I'm going to go in the center. You think you can contain me? And of course, as all of us with squishy champions know, you cannot. He's like a lesser Rost in that sense, I think. Rost is still the best boy for this kind of stuff. And we hit our Decimate. We get a double hook. That's quite nice, actually, but we're going to die because Swain, Aatrox, tower shots. It's really funny. You know, I've coached some Darius mains. I looked at a few other players. They all seem to go too deep. It's very interesting. It's like, at least it hits the Q, they must take it, you know? The mind says no, but the body says yes. Darius's body always says yes to every single impulse that they have. It's really funny. No offense to you Darius mains. But again, 313 clear means you have a solid foundation to play the game. But again, you're going to need to itemize properly. Don't do... You can go Gale Force if you feel like being an assassin for a bit of troll. I don't recommend it though. I think the Strikebreaker is a much more logical item. You see how he's playing just super frontline, looking for that hook, looking to get those resets, looking to get in those fights all the time. Bring those things together. Nidalee will have the execute. Oh, the Yone ult over the wall. As we all know, coin flipping objectives without our team members can lead to doom and gloom, which is what's happening here. So this looks like the big swinging point, but not in the direction you're thinking. 10-2-5 Nidalee. 7-5-3 Darius. I think that Darius's issues are nothing to do with the champion, so I think it's good. It's nice to see the strengths that he's had so far and how he's thrown them away. Because it doesn't matter what jungler he would be, right? He'd be throwing those things away. Right. We need to catch up a little bit. So, outside in rule, technically, we want to go maybe, we want to go red Raptors into the mid lane, potentially. Jhin is a bit AFK, or if you want to go inside out, you can kind of go Raptors, red Krugs. But we go for the red into the Raptors, not looking to take too long farming. We're going to go look to collapse some people. We see the Nidalee here. We do have to be very, very cautious about the rest of the team collapsing from base here on the reset. But we're going to go ahead and just kill the Swain. Again, looking for those fights, looking for those kills. Dodge the spear. As I said, no nuance in that. Just run hard, run with purpose, and things will work out. So Darius jungle way. The thing is, though, you are no longer jungle Darius. You have smite, you need to be there for objectives, but, you know, he kind of navigated that phase that people might not like in the top lane quite well. I mean, did he die through dumb plays? Yes, but if he didn't make them, he could have just steamrolled this game, you know what I mean? And the Nidalee, I'm shocked that she ended up with 10 kills, but I'm also not shocked that she ended up with 10 kills. She should not have with some of that pathing. Not the best pathing in this game. Okay, but it was still strong. we're still within touching distance, and they still have to respect us, you know? And that's the thing. That's the whole point of these kind of junglers. Can we clear fast enough to threaten the map, to still get ganks off, to solo objectives, to take objectives, so that when we get to 20 minutes and we are no longer the jungler, we're just the champion, that we can still be what we need to be, you know? Because top lane obviously has way more resources. Double hook, very, very nice. We're going to go in. That is a dead Senna. We're going to do that get for the double dunk, but it's not going to do anything. That is, you know, full on. I'm going to go and kill the Senna, which I think is a good strategy. Because when you have a long-term team fighting comp, you know, through the Karma, through the Jhin, through the Silas, it's good to kind of take away the healer, but I don't like this one-for-one stuff I see a lot lately. This is not just a Darius thing, but that's, if you're an assassin, if you're playing something like this Darius, doesn't matter what meta champion it is, and you do this, and you take out the priority target and die, it can be good, it can be bad. It just depends on the entire nature of your team comp. So, right. Didn't expect so many deaths. Don't worry. Don't worry. High KP, most damage incoming. Stick with me here. Stick with me here. I don't pick you videos where someone just runs it down and we say, look, OP. You know, the OP part was what I just said, but you still have to be able to end the game, don't you? You really, really do. Into the Decimate, into the Ultimate, into the Q, into the Everfrost, into the Chains. Perfect, that's all we need. We still have our ult up, the Spear coming in hot. We are now moving into our Force of Nature, but more tanky boy. Don't go Predator, Predator's shit. Ghost is fine, if the tempo is good. It gives you the fighting, it gives you the gap close. Blue Smite 2. Right. Push up that mid-wave, steal the Raptors, but be cautious. They might suspect you're doing so. Could have gone straight for the Baron, maybe, but the 272 Akshan is a mighty questionable character, I'm going to tell you that much. The Bush Trap against a Nidalee. And a Swain, who's dead, grunted, but... A Nidalee and Swain, and we want to sit in the bush. Okay, Silas says yes. Darius says, I like it when you say yes. I also say yes. I'm going to hit that hook and try and peel. I'm going to keep going front line. We're getting the dunk. We do get the kill. Be very, very cautious. We get rooted by the Senna, who's then going to get chained down and killed. So that's it. That's what we're looking for. That was nice. And the Nidalee died as well. We have stolen the Swain ult from the Silas' perspective. We're going to kill the Yone very, very quickly. Now the Swain is here, but he's only level 11. Yeah. Darius is just going to the Baron. Not even watching Darius anymore. We're just watching the team here going, okay, and he's just like, guys, Baron. Yeah, 4 dead. We should be able to do it. Yin. Should maybe would I have greeted for that? I think it depends on my mood. I would have liked to have done it though. I would have liked to have done. I know Jhin was really low. Pizza au chocolat. Ugh. Okay, fine. It's okay to do the safer play. I always typically do, but sometimes in these videos I get carried away. Like, do the thing, do the Baron. Yeah. Right, back to base. We do a Force of Nature completed. We can now go to Death's Dance. Yes, yes, yes. But you're seeing, this was great. Frontline disruption, engage. Cool, you know? A lot of early damage. Really nice. Let's have a look at some of the stats we have here. 32-second uptime. You can see that. Okay, hold on. Fight activation. We do get hit by a Senna W, so be careful not to chain your whole team to your fate. Scan as you hit the bush. Karma speeds you up. Well, Karma plus Darius is very nice. Control warded. But be careful. Aatrox, Senna, Nidalee, backline Nidalee. Watch the Yone ult as well. Double hook again. Swain's forced to Zonya's. Nidalee's still in the backline here. We're going to go for another heal dunk. We're going to get the dunk. We're going to get the reset. That's a double dunk. Can we go on the Nidalee for a triple dunk? Ah, she's Zonya's. Unfortunate. Yeah, we get it anyway. Nice. See? The whole point is, with this kind of champion, get those resets, the Ghost, the Ultimate. Make sure you are just in a position to be able to do these things. And sure, he had bad deaths. Yes, he did not path optimally. Yes, we got a bit greedy and chasey. And yes, we lost the Herald with the possibility of many plates. But at the end of the day, as long as you're doing enough to keep that lead of the enemy jungle, 50 CS, Flame Horizon, pushing towers, pushing the map, counter jungling, taking the crabs, river control, they can't really do anything about that. You know what I mean? They can't walk in 1v1 and deal with you. Every time they send 2 or 3, that's exactly what you're looking for. Right, what do we have in the pocket? In the pocket, 1,800 cash monies. So that'll be a Warhammer plus a pickaxe. Now we have the Baron, so this is huge. That game was looking a little bit swingy, but honestly, the Darius always felt strong. It always felt like we're in a position as the Darius to control the game. I think that's all we want. Now we're ahead in the Nidalee, 12-6-7. Move on into the enemy jungle. Nidalee's collapsing on the Akshan. I don't know why you would waste your time for that, but he's 300 years designed. So he's able to escape. And Nidalee dies. But I'm always a fan of a Nidalee dying. And we have now Aatrox, Giga strong top laner. Can we nerf, please? If I have to see another one with a Yuumi, although I don't know how Yuumi's even going into games. Yone goes for the super half map engage here. And now, of course, we have here the Sylas doing the exact same thing. Our Darius is in the meantime following a Aatrox. Okay, we have speed ups thanks to Karma. Pizza au Chocolat kills the Nami. We get slowed here, we get chained here. He's going to go for the wall again with his E, doesn't matter. Karma plus Darius Bleed will do enough. Don't leave your team too much. Make sure you have good target swap, but we're Darius. Hey, it's fun. 14-6-8. Okay, so now we're having a lot of fun. So if you wanted to know how fun it is, no, Red Smite. Oof, oof, oof. Yeah, it's not that fun. I think that's not an educational moment. I'd like you to erase that entire sequence after the kill from your brains. All right? We just want to push, and we want to siege a tower, and we want to end the game. If you happen to be a challenger player like this Darius is, and you know you're going to win this game because you're also surrounded by other high elo players, be my guest. But when you're in low elo, you're in diamond, you're in platinum, you're in gold, silver, don't coin flip won games by killing yourself by running into their base, okay? Because you are needed to win. Trust me on that one. There's gonna be no follow-up. Again hit by the spear, again hit by the W, so irritating. I don't know, I mean, why would we go necessarily plated steel caps? I mean, it's good versus Senna, it's good versus Yone, it's good versus the Aatrox, obviously. But the CC is kind of irritating. I mean, you could go tenacity in your rune set, plus unflinching, I suppose. I mean, obviously we have that, but... Thinking out loud a little bit here. You know, obviously knockups don't count, but the roots from the Swain, from the Senna, can really be irritating. I don't think it's necessarily a true right or wrong answer. It depends who you're fighting, definitely, but it depends on how you want to play the game. Nidalee goes ahead and steals that. You do not have the smite combo. That is a downside to a lot of these off-meta jungles. You don't have the smite combo with your ability to snag and secure objectives in a 50-50. But we do have the ability to chase down. You see what I'm saying? Like this kind of stuff. It's like we're stuck, we're stuck, we're stuck. I'd rather be able to move than reduce the damage, personally. Jhin chases the Yone, we get the kill there. I mean, this has been a nice Fiesta high elo game. I think it's good to watch these kind of games. I think they're more reminiscent of what games most of you will have. And if a champion like Darius Jungle can thrive in this, it's definitely one of those hidden OP champions. And I don't mean OP in that kind of sense. I just mean it's a viable jungler that you could use very, very, very successfully, like Mordekaiser, to push issues on the map and to win games pretty damn quickly. You do have to play a little bit more intelligently in terms of how you pass sometimes. You can't run around like a maniac like this guy did sometimes. But overall, I think it's good. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, and comment if you enjoyed and learned something. So GG guys for Warwick, Volibear, and Viego, Belveth, Echo, and Diana coming very, very soon, plus a whole bunch more champions. And as always, I will see you all in the bootcamp. And yes, that will be through a bootcamp with Gosu Academy and of course Coach Kybit alongside me to make you a genius League of Legends player in 10 days. And apparently I only wear vests in my content, so they had to yeet this from Instagram, but as you can see, I do look quite teachery. But what shall we be learning and when shall we be learning it? End of August, first week of September, 22nd of August is the first day we shall start. Coach Kybit and myself will take turns giving you master lessons, as well as having VOD review classes and a variety of other jungle coaches and League of Legends lane coaches helping you out every single day. And obviously I'm a jungle EDU YouTuber, so I believe and trust all the videos I put out there, but having a sort of active learning principle behind everything we do is significantly better. You've got the teachers and you've got the coaches overseeing how you're learning and giving you actionable goals to apply those tips to your games. You simply sign up through the site, you get access to the exclusive Discord, and wait and be ready. There are a variety of packages available for you. Basically, for the cost of one coaching session, you're getting about 30 coaching sessions. And obviously, there is VOD review access 100% to everything you need. If you miss a lesson, you will be able to watch it on VODs. Click the link in the description below, and it will be pinned in the comment section for 10% off for the first people who sign up. I'm really looking forward to talking more about this in the coming weeks, and I look forward to seeing everybody there. And maybe if we get like 1,000 signups, I'll do a Fiora cosplay.